Impact TVna akhanana Manipur ki khongchata leiriba India gi yamna maming leiraba mayamna khwadigi pamnaba one of the most prestigious colleges hainasu hainariba St Stephen's College ki principal Reverend Dr. Valson Thampu ga akhanana unadana koina principal sigi khongchata sigi matangda kari leibano kari dambata Manipur la ibano kari wakhalondagi Manipur yawra ibano haiba watangdu khananabagi hangjanabi matangdu luxury. Welcome to Impact TV, sir.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. I'm glad to be featuring on your television.
Thank you, sir. First, sir, is this your first visit to Manipur?
This is my first proper visit to Manipur. On a previous occasion, I landed at the airport, spent 2 hours with the old students of the college, but moved on to Kohima, where I had 2-3 days of meetings.
What brings you here this time in Manipur?
Well, what brings me here are the wonderful students, old students of the college. I have been specifically invited by one of the ministers here, who is our old student, Mr. Hemuchandra Singh, who is a very dear friend of mine. And several of our old students are in important positions in the state, and I'm glad to see that the products of St. Stephen's College are serving the state of Manipur with great distinction and devotion. So it's a great happiness for me personally as the principal of the college to be with them. So 2 main purposes. One is to attend the Shanghai Festival, which I'm seeing for the first time. And I must say that I'm deeply impressed by what I saw yesterday. Especially the response of the people is really great. Second, of course, is to renew my friendship with the old students of the college. I hold all of them in great affection. So that's why I'm here.
Northeast states are often considered to be a very hostile, area to visit by the mainland Indian. So what was your perception before reaching here in Manipur?
Well, this is completely wrong. I can't possibly imagine people more friendly, more hospitable than the people of Manipur, people of Northeast. I've had a lot to do with Nagaland, for example. Now, how did this idea of hostility come about? You see, all these aberrations are actually created by unhealthy politics. And finally, the people are blamed. I would say that people are the victims. It should change. India, as a great democracy, must rise above all such divisive thoughts. We must forget our unhappy past and make a new beginning where all Indians are seen as equals and everyone is given an equitable share of national wealth, and we begin to move together hand in hand to a brighter future. I think this is possible. And in fact, St. Stephen's College is precisely committed to this kind of a scenario, because from the very beginning of my college, which was established in 1881, one of the major concerns of the college was to promote the unity of India. At that time, India was not free. But even then, the visionary founders of the college wanted to promote a sense of oneness about Indians, because India is a land divided by caste and region and color and languages. Now, in St. Stephen's, we bring young people, men and women from all parts of the country, and make them live together on the same campus so that mentally they get liberated. And the idea of one India is born and celebrated in my college. And I consider that to be an important part of the work that we do.
And so, what is your first impression once you have landed here in Manipur?
Well, my first impression about Manipur is that it is a state with immense possibilities. One very important thing I want to mention is this, that St. Stephen's College now gets wonderful students from the state of Manipur. In the last 10 years, I have noticed a great change. Young people coming to St. Stephen's College are far more motivated and academically brilliant than they were, say, before that. So it shows that the people of Manipur are very talented. Today I went round and saw a bit of the city. I was very impressed with the women of Manipur. They are so efficient. They can manage a lot of things. They're hardworking. I don't know if the same is true about the men of Manipur. So I would like the women of Manipur to inspire the men of Manipur. Then people should become more alert and active and participate actively in government programs. And the government on its part should involve the people. So a more meaningful government people participation, which makes democracy meaningful and real, is something that I would very strongly recommend. I think in the days ahead, Manipur must invest heavily on education and health. Because everyone says that education is the main catalyst for development, but education is our last priority. Why is it that Manipur does not have good education institutions for higher education in particular? As far as I know, Manipur does not have enough hospital facilities. So I think these two are important in determining the welfare of the people as well as their empowerment. For example, I went and visited the Loktak Lake. That place, if it can be developed properly, it can be a world-class tourist attraction. I was standing there. I was thinking to myself, suppose a place like this existed in Switzerland. It would have been one of the wonders of the world. It's such a beautiful place. But its potential has not been tapped. Manipur is not burdened with large population. You have only 27 lakh people, which is really nothing. So, everything is actually ready for Manipur to take off. And I'm sure that with Stephanians in high places, they will do their very best to develop Manipur. And I wish them well. I wish the administration of Manipur and the people of Manipur all the very best in the days ahead.
Very good to hear such a very wonderful, opinion about the Manipur. And of course, you brought out some very important points which we need to look forward. Sir, could you please motivate, on your own words, the youth and the students of Manipur to proactively take part in the nation building?
I want to tell the youth of Manipur that they are living in this age of youth. Never before in history has a period been entirely focused on youth as it is today. So there are wonderful opportunities. In fact, the kind of opportunities that the youth of today have, my generation could not dream of. But to be able to make use of opportunities, one must develop oneself. And in order to develop, we have to accept discipline. And that discipline includes keeping away from things that diminish your efficiency, inhibit your energies, and take you along wrong paths and finally destroy you. You cannot go forward and also remain addicted. That's simply not possible, because I've written a book on addiction also. One of my main concerns as a teacher, educationist, is that every form of addiction ruins your ability to work. That includes studying also. So while the young people today are extremely talented, they're 10 times talented than I am. But their final achievements may not be what I have achieved, because they allow their abilities to be ruined. So my request to them, I don't advise, my request to them is, believe in your potential, which is absolutely immense. Believe in the reality of incredible opportunities. Prepare yourself daily for it. Education is the medium of your empowerment. Take your studies from early days seriously and plan your entire series of studies. Fix your goals very clearly ahead, and there is no force in the world that can prevent them from achieving what they would like to achieve. The second thing I want to tell them is this: life is a long journey. Unfortunately, today, because people believe in enjoyment and pleasure seeking, they don't think about tomorrow. They want to fill today with the maximum enjoyment. Now, this is extremely foolish. In fact, we must defer pleasure in order to achieve greatness. Those who seek pleasure end up destroyed. Those who seek greatness attain greatness, and they are valued and respected by the entire society, the entire world. Therefore, the youth of Manipur should aim at higher things rather than allow themselves to be led astray by these small things. If you look at a pig, the pig goes digging its nose in the muck. It cannot lift his imagination and think of higher things. We should be better than pigs. We are better than pigs. So let's think of higher things and not dig our nose in the muck.
Sir, you are a priest yourself. Now, when we talk about the peaceful mind or building a nation, how close should we be to spirituality?
I have no doubt at all that the society as well as the state must stand on the foundation of spirituality. I am a priest, but I don't believe in religion. I believe the religion is a problem. But every religious tradition has at its core a tradition of spirituality which is light. Religion as light, that's spirituality. If you really look at the strength of our country, it was spirituality actually. Now, what is spirituality? Spirituality is the organization of life according to certain universal values. There are only 4 universal values: love, justice, truth, compassion. Now, if a nation does not build itself on the foundation of these 4 values, whatever we build will collapse. For example, if a society is infected with violence, it cannot progress. If a society is full of falsehood, falsehood breeds violence, and violence arrests growth. So, whichever way you look at it, it's impossible to build a healthy society without values. Second thing is, it's impossible for me to have healthy personality without practicing values. For example, suppose I tell lies. I may be a great intellectual. I may be holding a high position, but nobody will take me seriously. And even if others take me seriously, I will not be able to respect myself. Right? Therefore, I believe, as the Indian spirituality always taught us, dharma means that which undergirds a society, or that on which the society rests. So I believe that what India needs first and foremost is a spiritual revival. And it's only through a spiritual revival that India can fulfill its destiny. Now, we think that this mantra of development is going to make wonders. It's not going to happen at all. Even development will depend on a spiritual revival and the building of character. Now, development without character will degenerate into anarchy, degenerate into violence. In fact, I believe that even development is impossible without spirituality. So, now what we are doing is, unfortunately, we are now blindly imitating the West. It is the West that is projecting the idea of development. We are not thinking for ourselves. We are running here, we are running there. We think we should go to China. China will, give the model. America will give the model. All that is not necessary. The people of India are great geniuses, right? Our ability is fantastic. But we have not been able to control corruption. We have not been able to bring or develop a healthy work culture. We do not respect life. We do not care for ordinary human beings. The problem with the VVIP culture is that it creates the impression that India is meant only for, say, 200, 300 people. The Sawa crore people don't matter. Now, all this must change. Every society can rest only on one conviction, and that is the life of every human being is extremely precious, because life is God's property. If you don't respect life, if you destroy life, you cannot build anything. There can be no progress in this country unless and until the life of every citizen is respected. And that is where we are very weak.
Thank you, sir. And of course, you are also an educationist. Now, I just want to know, do India need a reform in the education sector so as to compete with the Western countries and especially the Chinese? Now, our colleges are not able to, enter into the elite colleges of the world. So, do you think there is a need to reform the education policies?
First of all, I don't think that we need to compete with the elite institutions of the world. This is also part of the colonial legacy. Now, we always compare ourselves with the West. No? The West has perfected the art of projecting itself as a universal norm. If you are not like me, you are inferior. I don't believe in that at all. Right? The time has come for the West to learn something from us, which they never will. So, yes, I do believe that all is not well in the education sector. But my concern is very different from the concerns that are being talked about. What is being now talked about is mainly the vocationalization of education. And this obsession is rooted in the desire to make education a slave of the market. Today, the purpose of education is only to train young men and women for the market. So employability is the great concern. Now, employability is important. I don't doubt it. But one thing I know for sure: your employability also is questionable if you are not a good human being. The first purpose of education is and must be the perfection of human nature. And the proof that, perfection of human nature is happening is that the products of education must be good human beings. Today, after 40 years of service in the sector of education, I can tell you that the more educated a person, the more wicked he or she is, the more irresponsible and the more selfish. So, character formation, which all reports on education commission reports, there were 6 of them, always upheld as one of the principal goals of education, has been completely neglected. There is no state or policy in this country which today actually emphasizes character formation. Our whole system of education totally neglects it. As a result, we are producing educated people who are not committed to this country. They're extremely selfish. So, one of the things I really want to see happen is that the products of education become responsible citizens who care for the country, who understand the culture and character of this country, who also have the ability to be visionaries and to take the country forward. Now, within this, yes, there are further reforms required, and that is, education is a continuously changing scenario. No country remains stationary. Progress is a reality. Science and technology are important. So once the foundation is strong, then we can actually incorporate all these things and continually. Reform must be a continuous process. But how do you reform? There must be a guiding principle in reforming education. Now, what is happening in education today is we simply want innovation. Innovation is a craving for novelty. Something new must come. Now, whether that something new is actually good, bad, or indifferent, no one asks, right? So what we need a clear idea of what contribution education must make to nation building. We must have a clear idea as to what kind of society we want to create. Education is the enterprise in which today we work towards building a better society tomorrow. Right? So I would, in fact, work more on that rather than all this kind of vocationalization and the rest of it. I'm not saying that vocationalization and skill development is not necessary. I'm only saying that without the foundation becoming stronger, for example, work culture, for example, or a sense of responsibility to the country, being able to think for the country rather than oneself. Without some of these principles, we are not going to develop properly. We are not going to be a happy society. We are not going to fulfill our potential. This is my concern.
Sir, what has been the kind of relations that the St. Stephen's College and the Northeast India share?
St. Stephen's College has had a very long relationship with the northeastern states because we have always got students from the northeast. And that is the reason why in several northeastern states, the old students of the college are in very high positions. Now, I want to emphasize the fact that as compared to the students we used to get, we are now getting better students. It's not that the previous students were not good, otherwise they would not have become chief secretaries. And the chief secretary of Nagaland was a Stephanian until recently, and almost all senior positions there are held by Stephanians. But potentially I find that there is an improvement. Now, I'm trying to set up a new society in St. Stephen's College, which I will call the St. Stephen's Northeastern Society. There is a reason for it. The reason is that the attitude of people in Delhi to young people who come from northeastern states is not very positive. Stray episodes of violence have been reported in the past. I believe that rather than sitting and crying about these things, what we need to do is to come up with positive initiatives so that the misunderstandings, if any, about students from the Northeast prevailing in Delhi can be removed. And St. Stephen's College is easily the best platform to launch such an initiative. While here I have suggested to the old students of the college that we may think of organizing a Northeastern festival in St. Stephen's College, to which people in the city can be invited, the media can be brought in, and all these things will enable a greater integration of the two groups so that untoward events are averted. And students who come from Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland, so on and so forth, can live in Delhi with great happiness and peace.
And sir, your last message to the people of Manipur, especially the youth and students?
Well, Manipur needs you. The potential of Manipur needs to be understood, developed and celebrated, not only nationally, but globally, internationally. And that can happen only through the youth of today, who will be future leaders. So I would call upon the young men and women of Manipur, wonderfully talented people, to look after themselves and to develop themselves to the utmost, so that when their time comes to serve Manipur and to celebrate Manipur, they would be good custodians of the great hope that Manipur is. I have become personally very fond of Manipur as a state. I find the people of Manipur extremely friendly, essentially very good at heart, very generous, very free. It's a joy for me to sit and interact with them. So India needs Manipur. I want the people of Manipur, northeastern states, to spread all over India. Because, you see, much of India is plains, This is the hilly area. Somehow the hills and the valleys must meet, and a new dialogue should happen. And this will happen the mainland, and it will be a major boost for northeastern states. So when I look at northeastern states, I think Manipur is in a better position to lead the northeastern revival than in any other state. Therefore, I call upon the youth of Manipur to achieve that goal, to be the catalyst for the awakening and the celebration of the whole of Northeast, so that India as a whole becomes truly proud of the people of the Northeast, the people of Manipur, and every region that comprise this wonderful, wonderful region of our great country.
Thank you very much for your very valuable and very motivational inputs, sir. Thank you for your time.
I really enjoyed this time. Thank you.
Hozikta koina unazakiba St. Stephen's College ki principal Reverend Dr. Valson Thampu ni mahana phongdok piramisi koigi Manipur da lairiba potential mayam asi achumba mayon ama puge hairagadi ngasi gi haurak leba naha ngasi gi haurak leba mahiroi singna achoba thodang ama laugadabani haiba wafam duni haiba koigi generation asina haiba naharol ama haiba mahiroi sing asina nattaba licha thadu oga achumba wakal ama khallaga laibak semgat bagi wakal ondu ga loinana mangjil thana chatlagadi Manipur si soidana maki India khakta natana international gi level dasu achoba mai oiba ama ngamgani habi thajaba phongdok pirame.